Hello, I'm Cindy Aguirre in Dallas, and today we're bringing you some of our favorite stories of the year. We start off with a memorable one right here in North Texas. Jobin Paniker shows us how a neighborhood came together to bid farewell to a face they see every day, their mailman.
I don't see him. Where is he?
When you've been around the block,
No, not him.
you get to know people.
There's going to be lots of people.
We're all just waiting.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you don't get it.
And to know the people of Country Place in Plano.
We may not get to see them again.
Start at the front of the curb.
Bye, y'all.
Before Jeff Gray had a job as a mailman, his mother knew he had a superpower.
One day my mom says, "Hey, I hear they're hiring at the post office. It's memory and numbers. And I don't know anyone better than you."
He'd honk honk. He'd always do that little honk honk, and he'd always get out and give hugs.
Jeff knows this block
You want the current owner or the prior owner?
and everyone on it.
Okay, let's go the even.
Winkler, and then Roth, and then Whaling,
Over time, Jeff has learned
the Alstons,
this isn't just a route,
Varghese.
The older you get, you don't need things.
it is a relationship.
You don't need things, you need people.
I could get very emotional.
I tell them that that I love them and they love me, and we both know it.
He knows all 12 of my grandchildren. All 12 of them.
Y'all take care. Thank you very much.
Country Place is also not just any place.
You know where to find me. And I know where to find you.
It is one of the oldest developed neighborhoods in Plano. And around here,
Because no one ever did it like you.
even the mailman gets mail.
And they signed his name, and he drew a picture of the mail truck.
There are times he turned off a stove or watered plants while people were away.
I guess I'm Superman.
Delivering mail has become the side job.
He's delivering love.
And after 500 homes a day, 300 days a year, over 40 years, in one place, it comes down to this.
Jeff's final day. Good service is what you're here for. And I took it up a notch, but
Country Place threw him a retirement party,
Is Friday the last day he's delivering?
and generations of families showed up.
you get something to eat or drink?
We might have been good to have name tags.
I want to thank all of you really for being here. I'm just overwhelmed, and you look at the cars, and it's not even a funeral.
Jeff just turned 60 years old. He says it was time to retire
Hello,
and travel.
and goodbye.
But first, one final route.
This is like Where's Waldo?
So where is Jeff?
Here he is. Here he is.
Hello there.
All right.
Gonna miss you, son.
We're going to miss you.
Gonna miss you too.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
They cry at weddings. They don't cry at funerals. I'm not a crier.
But you cry for mailmen.
Yeah, right. Is that crazy?
When Jeff opened a mailbox, he opened a door into their lives.
I've probably been in more than half of the homes in my route, and lots of times y'all were home. So
And welcomed them
I can't believe it.
I know.
into his too.
I had probably 20 people from my route that came and paid their respects, and Mom died. And that you don't forget. Ever.
Bye, Jeff.
bye.
Bye-bye.
In a world that has moved on from milkmen and paper boys,
I am just thankful for all of you to come here and think of me.
from deeply personal public service,
Stop crying. Stop crying.
the mail carrier remains.
Bye, y'all. We love you too.
And they move in ways that connect all of us.
There's a lot of good people out here, you know. There's no place like Country Place.
I love you, sweetheart.
His mother always knew he had the head for it.
Yes, I know. But it's just...
Turns out,
That's a lot, isn't it?
Jeff had the heart too.
Okay.
You're the best.
In Plano. I'm Jobin Paniker.
Now to a story that's proving age really is just a number. Kevin Reese introduces us to a group of women who bared it all to become calendar girls.
What we could do is just say, everybody find a seat.
It's not every day you visit a retirement home.
Everybody find a seat.
Find 26 ladies of a certain age popping champagne, seated at one very long table and each wearing a bright red sash.
Hello.
But 6 of them.
Boy, is that light? Right. Do we need to be powdered?
With Prosecco as liquid courage.
Oh my, this is my third.
Agreed to explain why.
Whose fault is this?
Mine.
Retirement home resident Susan Delarios got the idea
in the quiet English town of Naples
when on a movie night at Presbyterian Village North, the ladies watched that Calendar Girls movie.
The flowers of Yorkshire are like the women of Yorkshire.
The one where other ladies of a certain age decided the best way to raise money for charity was to pose for a semi-nude calendar.
February.
March. April.
I did talk to the executive director and almost caused a heart attack. And then I thought later, well, why not? Why not? Well, let's do it.
So, over the course of a year, Susan recruited 26 retirement home residents. 82-year-old Carol Kress said no, twice.
Now, it only took her 3 times to get me.
Celine Hubler agreed just to help with paperwork.
So long as I was behind the scenes, I didn't care.
And yet she's in a picture.
And yet I'm in there. Prosecco helps.
Oh, okay. Yes. And sometimes with that liquid courage in hand, photo shoots popped up all over the Presbyterian Village North campus.
And why I persisted? Sure. There were times I wanted to go, I can't do this.
But they did. And the result? Timeless beauties, barely seasoned and fabulous. A skinny dip in the fitness center swimming pool, a little naked mahjong in the game room, a lightly clothed happy hour, the outdoor pond, a day with a few friends at the dog park, the pickleball court, and a good semi-nude read in the library.
Are you celebrities now?
No, we hope to be.
Celebrities raising money for a charity of their own, the T. Boone Pickens Hospice Program at Forefront Living, while also sending a thinly disguised message.
That we have fun.
Age doesn't define you.
And aging is not to be feared.
I hope we inspire them to get up every day and embrace life, embrace the joy of living.
But your message is that you are ladies who have a lot of life left.
Yes.
And you're going to spend it well.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
They weren't supposed to buy them yet.
Meanwhile, back at the calendar reveal party.
They're buying them already.
Yes, the men of the retirement village were lining up to get a calendar of their own.
That's okay. Let them buy them. Okay, who needs to sign this?
And the ladies wondering if the men would ever be brave enough to do this too.
Well, they don't have to be naked to be sexy.
A resident named Duke Thornton suggested the men were more ready than they thought.
What do you think, Denny? Should I get some men together and we'll do the full Monty?
Until then, if you're in need of a 2026 calendar with a group of ladies aged 59 to 92, enjoying a New Year's Eve party bus in the Buff, this may be the calendar and the models for you.
Yeah, the model of joy is what we want to be. Yeah, the model of laughter and joy.
And if you're lucky enough, even get an autographed road trip on a retirement home golf cart. Timeless beauties riding off into a sunset that they're not ready to meet just yet. In North Dallas, I'm Kevin Pierce.
If you want to see more stories like that, our WFAA original special is now on demand on WFAA Plus.
I'm Mark Mullins with some of the heartwarming stories we've seen over the last year. And first, we're revisiting the story of a Vietnam veteran who's been troubled by memories of war. Now he's getting help changing that with a new friend. Here's Bob Buckaloo.
We met Navy veteran Bob Freeze on a rainy day at the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C. earlier this year. He and other veterans had been flown from their Texas homes to the nation's capital by Honor Flight Austin to view the memorials that honor those who served in the military. Bob was just a young man when he joined the Navy in the 1960s. He served on a ship in Vietnam during the war there. One day, while his ship was docked, something happened that still haunts him 60 years later.
We had an issue with someone coming aboard our ship. He was there to blow it up. And he wasn't much over 12. I survived, he didn't. And I live with that and have nightmares about that every day.
Today, the psychological aftermath of the war continues to haunt many veterans like Bob. Despite therapy and medication, he continued to struggle with PTSD. That is, until Sally recently entered his life. Sally is a 50-pound black lab who was trained this summer to be a service dog for Bob. Just 6 months after that rainy day at the Vietnam Wall, Bob Freeze is a new man.
My daughter even told me the other day, she says, I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. Good girl, walk.
Sally and Bob are inseparable now. Sally was trained at an organization named America's Vet Dogs. She was given to Bob free of charge.
Sally, wait.
Sally was especially trained for some of Bob's continuing challenges with PTSD, like recurring nightmares.
She doesn't let me get to that point of a full-fledged nightmare. She wakes me up, sometimes 3 or 4 times a night. I think she knows me better than I know me.
The beginning of a beautiful friendship, as Sally is helping Bob take steps toward making peace with the past.
Good girl.
Bob Buckaloo, KVUE News.
Great to see them together there. Well, as families reflect on what they're thankful for, one Austin woman is expressing her gratitude in a powerful way by volunteering at the very places that helped save her life as a child. Quita Culpepper has her story.
They say faith can move mountains.
Oh, my life's been a roller coaster since I was born, but I'm still pushing.
And Faith Edwards has overcome a mountain of medical issues.
I started off as a preemie at 7 months old.
Her battle began before she took her first breath.
I was told I was a dead on arrival baby. So I had no heartbeat, no pulse, nothing.
Doctors saved her, but the struggle to keep her alive and healthy wasn't over.
Me having hypertension and then hyperthyroidism and then Kawasaki disease came after that, which was so bad. So that was basically, an attack on my heart.
Faith also suffered kidney failure.
I took care of her until the time I left in 2016.
Retired Dr. Philip Berry, a pediatric nephrologist, treated kidney issues in children.
She's come a long way.
He remembers fighting to restore Faith's health.
As I recall, she had an infection in infancy, like right after birth. She became very sick and was in shock, septic shock.
For 3.5 years, Faith and her family moved through life within the walls of Austin's Children's Hospital and the quiet comfort of the Ronald McDonald House.
They offer toys, so you can have toys in your hospital room along with free meals, free housekeeping. So it's really just a home away from home, really.
And now Faith is putting her name into action.
I always wanted to give back, and it's just such a full circle moment.
She's volunteering at Dell Children's Medical Center and Ronald McDonald House, the place that once lifted her family up.
I restock all of the toys and I help do the laundry.
She also cleans the rooms and talks with those who need reassurance that they and their child aren't alone.
We have a bunch of families come in all the time. We have a wait list and their stories are pretty intense, just like mine. So I'm grateful to be here giving back to them, able to be a listening ear,
Her efforts have not gone unnoticed.
Without volunteers, we cannot do what we do. And especially individuals like Faith, the connection to Ronald McDonald House through the personal stories, shared stories, makes it even more enriching.
And Faith says she plans to continue her unique journey, remembering those who've helped her by helping others.
I always wanted to give back, and it's just such a full circle moment.
Full circle. Powered by love, hope, and faith. Quita Culpepper, KVUE News.
Oh, that is amazing and so inspirational there. Well, for plenty of people, technology isn't easy to navigate. One entrepreneur is hoping to change that. A teen in Austin started a company to help those who need some guidance in tackling the internet. Kelsey Sanchez talked with one client who couldn't be more grateful.
Yes. Well, did you wonder how I got that in that little spot?
I was thinking about that.
Before Joshua Natinsky and Ruth Thomas make their way to her computer, he's thanking her for a card she made online.
Well, the card was amazing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Ruth has cards galore and takes special pride in making them.
I like it, fixing it like this. It is the simplest thing in the world.
You would think she's a pro, and in some ways, she is. But Ruth is finding her rhythm with the mouse, her keyboard, and her Hallmark program with the help of her teacher.
My mouse wouldn't work, and he said, "Oh, I think it needs a battery." I didn't even know the mouse had a battery. So we found a battery, and then I started. Sometimes things are just the simplest things in the world.
At 97, Ruth says it's not easy to keep up with the evolving technology, but she wants to try. Ruth says her daughter found Natinsky's company Support Sharks, which aims to help people like Ruth learn all things the internet has to offer.
Why is it so far down?
We'll change the size.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It takes practice and patience, but Natinsky says he doesn't mind.
I feel like I am who I was back when I was 21. Or 23 or whatever, but it's hard to remember when you're 97. It's hard to remember who you are. When I'm going here making this funny cards or clever or sweet card, then I think, oh, yes, I am.
A reminder as technology keeps evolving, maybe she can too.
I don't want to. I want to do it the way I want to, but that's the way it is.
Taking charge with the touch of the mouse and the help of a teen.
I think our card's good to go.
I think it is.
In Leander, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
And those were some of our heartwarming stories in Austin this year. I'm Mark Mullins.
Time now for a look at some of our favorite heartfelt stories from Houston this year. Hello there, I'm Mia Gradney. Well, the holiday season is the season of giving, and in the days leading up to Thanksgiving, one man in Houston's 5th Ward showed his love and gratitude for his community by barbecuing for the masses. And he did it all for free. Here's Matt Doherty.
That's the gift of having a pretty day, no rain. Yesterday was raining.
Courtney Brooks says he is blessed.
Today, no rain.
A man living his dream.
It's hard. It's hard. Because at first, I used to burn a whole lot of food up.
14 years ago, CB took a leap of faith. He resigned from his job in the oil field, bought a pit and a trailer, and started to smoke.
The smoke make you cry sometimes.
Since then, CB's trailers have gotten longer, his pits have gotten bigger, and his business has gotten better.
Everybody ought to be happy today.
Which is why 4 years ago, CB had an idea. A few days before Thanksgiving, he'd host a cookout in the 5th Ward where he was raised. Anyone can come, and they won't be charged a dime.
Out of my pocket. Yes, sir.
You can walk off the street, down the street, around the corner. It don't make no difference. Come get it. That's what we do.
Joe Ballard has been eating and helping with CB's Thanksgiving cookouts from the beginning.
Nobody's trying to preach to you. Nobody's telling you to vote. Ain't nobody tell them nothing. Tell them nothing. Come get whatever they want.
Ballard's family has lived on Amboy Street since the 1800s, across from where the barbecue is being hosted tonight.
That's what our grandma and them did. They fed everybody.
Tonight, CB has enough to feed 300 people.
Chicken wings, we got brisket, we got pork chops coming on next. We got a few turkeys for later on.
Not to mention the dirty rice and green beans.
Yes, sir.
Some of those who showed up stopped when they saw the free food sign on their way home from work. For others, CB says they walked from a few streets away. This might be the only hot meal they'll eat all week. Always looking forward, CB says he's already grateful for what he hopes will come in the new year, a storefront barbecue joint to call his own. CB says he's a blessed man.
It's fun if you like to do it.
Blessed to be able to give.
I love it. I love it.
In the 5th Ward,
I'm Matt Doherty.
Happy Thanksgiving.
KHOU 11 News.
Serving up lots of love right there. A man in Hitchcock reached out to us after having bees inside the walls of his house for more than 3 decades. When we shared his story, a beekeeper stepped in and removed the bees for free. But the help, it didn't stop there. Michelle Choi shows us the couple in Galveston who worked to help turn his house into a home.
And we're keeping the bees out.
This is all new.
This is all brand new.
Brand new siding, windows, fresh paint. Work that would have cost thousands now being done for free.
We've had a lot of help in our life coming up, and I think it's just passing it forward is key.
Zach Kegels and his wife Emily own a business just down the street. After watching our stories, they knew they had to help.
Did his story tug at you and your wife's
Yeah,
heartstrings?
100%. Yeah, like I said, having the bees in our house years back, it was our first house. It was, it was challenging, right? And so we knew exactly what he was going for.
You know the siding?
They hired Rangel Remodeling at a discount. A contractor experience with bee infestations. It's a huge change from when I first met 69-year-old Jimmy Johnson back in August, when bees swarmed inside his walls and honey oozed out. A lot's changed since then, right?
Lots changed. I mean, I can sit here, I can come on my porch.
The first step was taken by Carlos Hernandez with the nonprofit Bee and Me, who after our first story aired, removed the 30-plus-year-old hives for free. What's it been like to see this community rally around you?
Ma'am, that's beautiful. I truly want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you and me wouldn't be having this conversation sitting out in this yard if it wasn't for them.
And while crews will be out here through Friday making these repairs, this is only one part of the house. The rest is still in terrible shape, like this back part of the house. This used to be a bedroom, which now looks like a porch after Hurricane Beryl damaged it. That's why Mr. Johnson and the Kegels hope to inspire even more help to bring the rest of this home back to life.
I sure thank you, sir. I thank you a whole lot, and God bless you.
I appreciate you too.
In Hitchcock, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
When it comes to the world of professional sports, many kids see athletes as their heroes. But one girl from Pearland reminded us all this year that the real heroes are the ones who never give up on their dreams. Zach Tawatare shows us the young lady who swung big.
Right here on this Pearland Diamond,
I like it because you can make new friends and play new positions.
9-year-old Mercedes Merchant has been shining bright since her parents, Jay and Krista, say
She said I want to hit softballs.
she was old enough
Just 4 years old.
to hold a bat.
One of the coaches saw her, and she said, that's a ball player.
Her skills on the field speak for themselves.
Just made All-Stars first year, 8 All-Stars the second year, and now she was playing 10U softball at 8 years old.
This past season, Mercedes won her age division.
I've never been on the field.
In the Astros team championship at Dyken Park
I've always just been in the stands.
of Major League Baseball's pitch, hit, and run.
I was super surprised because there were a lot of good people there, and I didn't know if I was going to make it or not.
That win earned Mercedes the invitation of a lifetime.
That's when they said if they finish top 5, they go to Game 2 of the World Series. Just proud is really hard to describe when it talks about just being her parents in general. But she just keeps doing great things, overcoming all the odds.
They've given her advice to this point that only parents could.
They told me don't suck.
Well, that's probably the best advice you can get. It's honest, right?
And nurtured her talent.
Just want to give her the opportunities.
But it's what they did when she was just 18 months old that would forever change their lives. When they made Mercedes one of their own.
She was in foster care system. It was a long ordeal. We got caught in the COVID and courts were shut down, and so we finally got to adopt her. She was almost 4. She had a rough start to life.
And this past weekend, on the same field as her Major League heroes in Toronto,
Once in a lifetime.
the day after Game 2 of the Fall Classic,
Bucket list experience.
in a World Series of her own.
I think I was more nervous than she was.
Mercedes showcased everything she'd been working for, finishing 3rd in her age group at the Pitch Hit Run National Finals.
And that makes me feel excited.
But regardless of how far she hit, how close she threw, or how quick she ran, Mercedes has already won. She's got the best teammates anyone could ask for.
It kind of makes you happy that there's a little girl that's got an opportunity now.
In Pearland, Zach Tawatare, KHOU 11 News.
What an incredible journey and a moment that Pearland, her parents, and all of us here in Houston can be proud of. With all that's well and good in Houston this holiday season, I'm Mia Gradney.
I'm Lindsay Littman. Here are some of our favorite stories from Central Texas this year. First, our Juliana Jackson met up with a Salado teen who joined his favorite rock band on stage.
Because this was the largest crowd I've been in front of, about 3,000, 4,000 people.
How does a 14-year-old end up sharing the stage with the rock band Switchfoot? It started with a surprise from Dad.
Run some errands, and next thing you know, we showed up at the parking lot, and a big smile on his face.
Liam O'Neill is not just an average fan.
I know it's a little cliche, but Meant to Live is my favorite song from them, even if that is their greatest hit.
When lead singer John Foreman saw Liam's sign,
So every time his song came up, he went ahead and held the sign up.
Liam was ready to rock.
I knew that he could handle it, and it's just nobody else knew how well he could play.
But this wasn't the teen's first gig. And behind every great musician are great roadies.
Making sure everything's packed up and, letting people know when he's playing and helping to manage his Facebook and YouTube.
Despite his rising star status, Liam's keeping his feet on the ground. For now.
My main job is most likely going to be as an electrician. It's good pay.
But the rock star dream is still very much alive.
Trying to form a band currently, but I can't find any bases.
While Liam's parents will always be his #1 fans.
I just think that he has so much potential for the future, and as long as he stays passionate, we're going to be passionate too.
Definitely has a bright future ahead. Meantime, our Sydney Walker takes us on a walk with the Hot Girl Sidewalk Society and shows us how they're fostering friendships.
Hi, you look so cute. The decision to start the Hot Girl Sidewalk Society. I had started talking to the girls here about it, and I was like, I think I want to do this. Was sort of spur of the moment. And then 2 days later, I posted about it. Here we are. Amanda Hewling runs Amanda K. Brow Studio in downtown Temple. No, I do brows. I talk to women all day, every day. Conversations with clients revealed a gap in society. I really just sensed this hunger for community. And at the first meeting, I'm so glad to be here. I missed the last two. I know. Almost 30 people showed up. Some people I had never met, just people who saw it. And a few dogs too. For Raquel Colmani, the group has been healing.
And it's really special to have relationships like this because it's kind of hard to come by in this day and age.
They meet weekly on Monday evenings to walk, stopping for some sweet treats along the way. The girlies getting together and walking. Sometimes with a cute little drinky. The concept is simple. But effective.
It's really nice to be able to kind of let our guards down, and there's strength in numbers, so walking around with everyone is just really healing.
Hewling said they're forming a bond and establishing a community. I'm starting to see some of the same people show up each week, and it's oh my gosh, it's cool. Something she says a lot of women are missing in their lives. A lot of women have been after school or after college, I just don't know how to find friends. The group provides a space outside of school or work to stroll into sisterhood.
Being close to people and making deep connections with people is what it's all about.
Sure is. And finally, after 3 decades, a Texas woman has officially been recognized among Texas's most influential women. Christine Nix made history back in 1994 when she became the first African-American woman to be promoted to the Texas Rangers Division. Our Adriana Alexander has her story.
In early November, 70-year-old Christine Nix got a special call from an official with the Texas Women's Hall of Fame.
Truthfully, when I was notified, I thought they had heard about my fantastic skills as an event planner.
But instead, she found out she'd earn a place among those honored, and she'd been chosen to be inducted.
That night was awesome, mainly and primarily because my children were there, both my adult children were there. It was almost overwhelming to see the number of people absolutely engaged while I was giving my speech.
Her journey to this point was no cakewalk, as the 1970s was a much different time for Nix when she started her career in law enforcement. And there weren't many Black women working in this profession.
I believe when I came in 1979, there were 3 of us in this area, maybe 4 or 5.
Her path began in humble steps.
In civil affairs, we help the population on a global level. And so that's what drew me to law enforcement.
After working in local law enforcement for a number of years, Nix decided to take her efforts to the next level.
Governor Richards had put forth a proposal that DPS and the Rangers needed to hire more women. So I took the opportunity.
Then in 1994,
I went through a torturous academy, which I will never do again.
Nix became the first Black woman to become a Texas Ranger.
Once you get out of the DPS academy and you make it through, you know you've gotten into something well worth the effort.
Her law enforcement career stretches more than 30 years across McLennan and Bell counties, and she's still serving today. Now honored in the Texas Women's Hall of Fame, she hopes her journey inspires more women to break barriers of their own.
I have no regrets. The job was difficult at times, but the rewards were worth the effort.
And those are our favorite stories from here in Central Texas.
Hi, I'm Brennan Gurley, and here's what's making headlines across East Texas. A Texas College choir student is taking her talent from the classroom to the national stage by performing the national anthem at an NFL game. CBS 19's Ayana Aird introduces us to Angel Cummings, whose voice is taking her places she never expected.
I first started, I've been singing my whole life. I come from a singing family. Way, way back on
Texas College choir student and Miss Sophomore Angel Cummings has been singing for as long as she can remember, using her voice to touch others through music, something she calls special.
The Chiefs saw a video of me singing the national anthem at a Texas College football game. But so proudly we hail.
That passion recently opened a door she never expected, one that would put her on a national stage.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars.
Several of our family and friends from Kansas City shared the post and added, tagged the Kansas City Chiefs, hey, you guys need to get her for the national anthem.
After about a month, that tag turned into a dream come true. The Kansas City Chiefs reached out, inviting Angel to sing the national anthem for their December 7th primetime Sunday night football game.
It's so crazy. It came the day after she found out that she didn't make it to the next round of American Idol.
Her mom says when one door closes, faith can open a million more.
Now she has the opportunity to sing on one of the largest stages in the loudest stadium in the country.
An opportunity that felt unreal at first, but now it's starting to sink in.
I'm feeling the pressure, but I'm really excited about it.
And for Angel, this moment feels even more special. Her mom has been sharing her singing videos on TikTok 7 years, and some reaching millions of views.
Started posting her because I noticed that there was something different about it. She is special, and she lives up to her name.
Originally from Kansas City and raised in Savannah, Georgia, Angel says singing the national anthem in her hometown stadium is a full circle moment.
I feel like it really won't be real for me until I get on the field, but I want to make my city proud. I want to make my family proud. I want to make my school proud. So I'm going to do the best that I can.
So I feel like all of her hard work that she has put in, from auditions to singing in church, everything has led up to this moment, and I'm so proud of her. I really am.
And as she prepares to step onto one of the biggest stages in football, Angel Cummings is proving that with faith, family, and a love for music, dreams really do take flight. I'm Ayana Aird for CBS 19.
Every birthday marks a milestone, and one East Texas woman at a Tyler Senior Living Facility has now celebrated 101 of them. Jean Thedford has lived through decades of history and even has some secrets to living a long, fun life. CBS 19's Will Riddell sat down with Jean Thedford on her 101st birthday.
Jean Thedford was born on November 23rd, 1924. If you're not a history buff, that's when Calvin Coolidge was the President of the United States. Today was Jean's 101st birthday.
I love my family.
And her family loves her. Sunday at Tyler's Atria Willow Park, Jean's children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren stopped by for hugs, kisses, and of course, a little cake. Gene's son David says his mom is still sharp as a tack.
I mean, she can carry on a conversation with you and also tell you things that happened yesterday and some that happened 90 years ago, you know? So it's amazing.
Okay, so how do you make it to 101, keeping your mental and physical health intact? Gene, what's your secret?
Just don't smoke and drink.
Also, dress appropriately and invest in quality clothing.
Some people don't dress very good. All of my clothes are old. It's better than what you can buy today.
Gene credits her parents for raising her the right way. Now, Gene's daughter Sandra echoes that same sentiment when talking about her.
She taught me everything I know, I guess. She's been a good mother.
So don't smoke, don't drink, take a little pride in your appearance. Oh, and don't forget to treat others the way you want to be treated.
And I don't know what else to tell you. I just love everybody.
Oh, she loves everybody. She loves everybody. She's a big conversationalist, and she just loves everybody.
And she'll keep loving as long as she keeps living, which could be a while longer.
Do you ever think she'd make it to 101?
No, I would have never thought so. She says she's going to make it to 110.
Happy birthday, dear Santa. Happy birthday to you.
110? Well, I wouldn't bet against her. In Tyler, Will Riddell, CBS 19.
And that's a wrap of your East Texas headlines. I'm Brennan Gurley.
Hi, I'm Leslie Adamy, and here's a look at some of what's happening here in South Texas. It's been nearly 10 years since doctors at Driscoll Children's Hospital made history by successfully separating conjoined twins. The girls recently got to come back to Corpus Christi for a big cheer competition. Our Natalia Osuna caught up with them, saying they're grateful to be back, but this time under different circumstances.
Since birth, Jimena and Scarlett have been in the spotlight. In 2016, Sylvia gave birth to triplets, Jimena, Scarlett, and Catalina, and two of them were connected in a way that required extraordinary care. Doctors at Driscoll Children's Hospital took on a groundbreaking surgery to separate Jimena and Scarlett, who were conjoined at the pelvis.
Who is this pretty girl? Scarlett.
And nearly 10 years later, the girls are back in Corpus Christi, preparing to take on a different stage. They're competing at a state cheerleading competition with mom Sylvia as their head coach.
Gracias a los doctores que están bien estudiados y eso, ellas están aquí presentes y ahora sí que bailando el día de mañana.
After doctors said they weren't sure if the girls would walk, the Hernandez Ambriz family says they're not only walking, they're dancing. From the song they chose to every step in their routine, this performance tells the story of their journey as a family, ending in a final pose that brings them back to where it all began. Michelle Horine, the girls' madrina or godmother, has been cheering them on from the start.
I was blessed to be one of the few people that was able to go into the NICU and visit them when they were still conjoined, and I was blessed to be with their mother during the surgery, and they shut the whole waiting room down and only allowed a few people in the room, and they'll always be a part of our family.
Horine saying the triplets, their grandmother and Sylvia, lived at the Ronald McDonald House for over a year.
The moments that mark my life forever. And I'm not gonna forget this because the people here always were there for us. When we cry, they cry with us. We never felt alone.
And what happened in the operating room changed their lives.
It's like they born again. Un ejemplo para los demás niños que tienen condiciones médicas que si algo quieren, no se den por vencidos.
This time, the whole family will be in the spotlight as they take the stage, the same way they've supported each other through the ups and downs, together. Natalia Osuna, 3 News.
And the holiday season is here, and so is financial uncertainty for several, especially some of the most vulnerable in our South Texas community, the elderly. Our Ryan Hopper shows us how a recent massive donation to Meals on Wheels is making a difference for those who count on this service.
The city says the funding will provide meals for those aged 60 and over and in need. It's also a major boost for the city's elderly nutrition program, which Zanoni says runs on a $578,000 annual budget.
So we're thrilled that we were able to make a $1 million gift to our communities throughout the state of Texas in the last few weeks, and for $75,000 of that gift to come to Corpus Christi Meals on Wheels and really just be a part of this initiative that they do day in and day out, providing hot meals to our seniors that need it.
HEB says the partnership works because both the grocer and the city already deliver services directly to residents.
We provide home delivery grocery service to many people throughout Corpus Christi. We've partnered with them as well to continue in those efforts and providing our vans as well for the city.
For 75-year-old Brenda Lee Crocker, who lives alone and doesn't have nearby family, the program is invaluable.
It is a godsend. It really is. If you have an appointment or something, you can call and cancel for that day. So, the driver isn't out here delivering something and you're not here. But it's wonderful. I mean, the program is so wonderful.
She says the program's support mattered most when her health made even getting out to the porch a struggle.
I usually wait here on my outside stool and wait for my Meals on Wheels. If it's nice and pretty, I enjoy the nice weather. And then whenever I had like my breast cancer surgery, or when I had trouble with my legs and I couldn't walk, then they would come up to the door and deliver food. The drivers are sweethearts. I mean, they're angels. I've never had any trouble with them at all. They're always really wonderful.
Ryan Hopper, 3 News.
And that's a quick look at some of what's happening here in South Texas.
I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. Members of Tejano and Norteño band Intocable made a special stop by Christus Children's Hospital this week. At the heart of the special presentation was a generous donation to the hospital. The lead singer spoke with Henry Ramos about the reason for the season.
A blessing for a newly revamped space. This room on the 10th floor at Christus Children's is for families who have to end up making the hospital a home.
You took away a lot of stress from this long stay that me and my daughter have been.
Mom Isabel has been in the hospital with her daughter for 18 days. She is thanking 2 members of Grupo Intocable. The Grammy and Latin Grammy winning Tejano and Norteño group donating $130,000. Their generous gift transforming spaces inside the downtown hospital, like this family room and this space for staff.
We do music for a living. We're blessed enough to do something that's, it's a blessing just to do music. And the community has given so much to us, and if we can give back.
As the team with the Christus Foundation put it, this is more than just a space on a floor, but hope.
They need a space where they can breathe and regroup and care for themselves.
The family room even includes a washer and dryer, so families don't have to leave.
Even having something as extra light in a room or uplifting pictures, those are all things that we take into account when providing patient care.
Permanent changes that will have a lasting impact. The group's lead singer, Ricky Munoz, with this message during a time of thanks and giving.
If you're in a good position and if you can help, it's all about helping out, man. It's great for the soul. It's great for other people as well.
Well, when you think of animals living in South Texas, you might think of deer, coyotes, and maybe even rattlesnakes. But what about monkeys? Several hundred monkeys roam the brush country near Dilley, about 70 miles southwest of San Antonio. While some of them were rescued from private zoos and the pet trade, others are descendants of snow monkeys brought over from Japan. Danny Hermosillo gives us a tour of their
Deep
Deep in the heart of South Texas sits a 175-acre primate paradise. Born Free USA is home to more than 300 monkeys, most looking to escape the inhumanity of people. These macaques, baboons, and vervets started out their lives as cute pets or roadside attractions, but soon they became too much for their owners to handle.
They buy them as their babies, they're super vulnerable, they're really sweet. They then grow up and they become less dependent on people. That will often mean biting, scratching, attacking their owners. And when they get to kind of adolescence, when you're looking at 4 or 5 years old, these animals are incredibly strong.
Liz Tyson is Director of Animal Welfare and Advocacy at Born Free USA. She and her team rescue abused and neglected primates from across the country.
What we're able to offer here isn't the same as life in the wild, far from it. You know, we can't offer quite what they deserve, but we can give them a great life where they receive great care and most importantly where they have monkey friends.
Most of the monkeys come here in serious need of veterinary care, nutrition, and rehabilitation. Some are so emotionally scarred that they prefer their solitude, but others form their own troop and keep an eye out for each other.
These guys are actually some of our newest rescues. Well, they were just rescued from a roadside zoo up in Oregon, which got shut down, and they've just settled in really beautifully.
I first visited the sanctuary about 30 years ago when it was home to a troop of Japanese snow monkeys that were brought here in 1971. Now, most of those that were brought here have already passed away, but there's still one queen up here, Helena, who was probably about 10 years old when I visited.
So the 140 so monkeys were brought from Japan back in the early 70s, and they lived in really expansive spaces. They still do. And for a period while they were allowed to breed before we took over, then they've actually had the opportunity to grow in a space where they probably act as close to wild monkeys as you could possibly wish for in captivity.
When Born Free took over the sanctuary in 2008, it snipped the wild breeding to keep the snow monkey population under control. Now the 100 or so descendants are living out their golden years.
I'm just really grateful we've been able to offer them this life. It's just so wonderful to see these animals who haven't had a chance before be given the opportunity to thrive.
Near Dilley, Danny Hermosillo, KENS 5.
A high school football player has managed to stay on top of his game and make a name for himself even after losing his hearing. Vinny Vanzetta introduces us.
How good of a lip reader are you?
Oh, I'm very good lip reader. I could just look at you, but to tell you what you said, and most of the time I probably would look at your eyes.
He almost cuts me off sometimes because he goes, I know what you're gonna say.
Without you even know, I'm looking at your lips, and then I'm a really good lip reader.
How would you describe what you hear?
What I hear most of the time is just sounds. I can hear no words. It's just everything just completely like noise. Echoes, stuff like that. It's just a bunch of sounds everywhere.
Givery lost his hearing at age 4, but if you think that slowed him down, well, not so fast. Well, fast, actually.
He's one of the best running backs in the state, is he not?
I can tell you this, he is the best running back in the state of Texas, and I have no problem saying that.
You feel like you could do it, you could do it. It takes time. You just gotta understand yourself. What's your goals? You just can't give up. You just gotta hold on it. And God knows too.
Tell me how things work for you on the football field.
Most of the coaches use hand signals.
I bet it's probably easier for him than other kids because he's kind of used to sign language, and so that's what our offensive signals are, sign language.
Sometimes when I miss a hand signal, I probably would look at the quarterback, or the coach would throw like a hand tap, or he would just put numbers.
I watch him. If we switch something, I'm like, don't forget G, you know? I'll whistle loud. He'll look back because he hears the sound, and he'll go, I got you.
Yeah, he may not hear like you and I, but he sees just as well, if not better, and especially on the football field.
I'm very quick vision. Like, every time I see an open, I'll be like, yeah, I see you. I just go bust through that hole, yeah.
There's times where I don't even see the cutback and he'll see it, and you just see him. I'm like, oh, he might be stopped. He'll turn around, go the other way, and just score 80-yard touchdowns.
He has it all. You know what I'm saying? He has strength, size, all that stuff I talk about. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to cry when he walks that stage because it's going to be a big loss for Harlan High School.
So this is what it sounds like for most of us at a high school football game. That's not what it sounds like for somebody like G. Ivory, but what makes him amazing is that whatever he does out there, or whatever he does moving forward in life, which will be a lot, it's always about his ability that will far exceed his disability.
Doesn't matter if you're blind or deaf. If you feel like you could do something, you could do it.
When people want to talk to me about his disability, I tell them, you should see his abilities.
Everything's possible. If you don't, you just got to believe in God. Don't give up.
And that's the news in San Antonio.
Here are headlines from Southeast Texas. I'm Mark Armstrong. A Beaumont nonprofit, Mays Love Beyond the Walls, is on a mission to turn houses into homes, and this Thanksgiving they did it together. As 12 News reporter Cameron Burchett explains, a retired U.S. Army veteran is off the streets just in time for the holiday.
Cladra, the nonprofit Mays Love Beyond the Walls has helped turn houses into homes for over 60 people since November 2021. And today, a retired veteran received a surprise just in time for Thanksgiving.
Welcome home!
Hi, buddy. That's James Melanson, a retired veteran who now has a roof over his head.
Seriously, quite agree.
For 11 years, Melanson served in the U.S. Army.
My unit had been fortunate to be right there part of the team when we captured Saddam Hussein live.
He completed 2 tours in Iraq, bravely serving our country.
I got out of the service in 2007, around September. I was going to be a father, and I had to be there for my son.
He was, but after coming on hard times, Melanson lived on the streets of Beaumont.
Things just wasn't going my way.
On October 3rd, he met Yolanda Reynolds, the founder of Mays Love Beyond the Walls.
We are an nonprofit organization that helps homeless people that does not have a place to live. We furnish and provide everything needed for a home sweet home.
Her nonprofit is dedicated to serving the community.
Nobody gets paid to do what we do. We are all volunteers. Every fund, every item that is donated to Mays is used to provide for either homeless, helpless, or hopeless people.
When she met James, she knew she had to help.
There's no reason for veterans to be living on the street if there's any way that they can be helped. We moved Mr. James into his very own home sweet home 3 days before Thanksgiving.
Complete with a Thanksgiving meal already in the fridge.
Turkey. We got dressing, macaroni and cheese. I would say this is what Thanksgiving is truly about.
James says he's thankful and ready to start his new chapter.
Everything's happened so fast. Thanks to the American people for keeping us veterans in your hearts and minds.
If you'd like to help, you can donate furniture, decorations, and other items that can help a house feel like a home. We'll have a way for you to connect on our website. In studio, Cameron Burchett, 12 News.
Well, a former Radio City Rockette, Alyssa Martin, is headed back to her hometown of Groves to give back. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato, she spoke with Martin, who says the choice was a no-brainer.
The hardest job I've ever had in my entire life, but it was also worth it, worth every second of it.
Born and raised in Groves, Alyssa Martin always knew she loved to dance. After graduating from Sam Houston State University with a degree in musical theater, she chased her dream.
Fell in love, obviously, with performing and did some cruise ships and some musicals.
City Rockettes. All the way to Radio City.
I auditioned and got the job and kind of stuck with it until my last year was for 10 years. So my last year was 2019.
Once she retired from that iconic stage, Martin headed to Houston to teach classes. She has since returned to her hometown of Groves.
I wanted to offer classes and master classes and experiences with something that we don't get back at home, right? Like growing up dancing, if you wanted to have master classes from something, from a Broadway style person or LA, like you had to leave and go travel for these experiences and these options.
Through precision dance training, she hopes young performers don't feel like their big dreams are out of reach.
It kind of feels like I can let these kids know that you can, if this were to be a dream of yours, it can be accessible and that you can have those big aspirations and go chase them.
She says her message is simple. big dreams can be reality.
You have to put in the work and you have to put yourself out there and take the risks to leave and go audition and go do something that might really scare you, but the benefits outweigh the fear.
In Beaumont, Spencer Plato, 12 News.
A Southeast Texas athlete is proving strength and determination turns obstacles into opportunities. Ray Stelly is pushing past his limits and inspiring others along the way. And 12 News reporter Spencer Plato, she spoke with the athlete who says your biggest competition is yourself.
I am my own toughest competitor. Once I realized that, it was pretty much game on.
For Ray Stelly, racing isn't just about finishing first, but showing what he's capable of.
I'm a push rim and mobility impaired runner from 5K to half marathon, but my story really began back in middle school.
The Hampshire Fannett native had to learn how to walk again after having surgery for his cerebral palsy.
Walked into the operation, rolled out, ended up having to spend the next 3.5 years learning how to re-walk again. And since then, it's been from powerlifting to marathons.
But determination would push Stelly through his setbacks.
It was about 6 months into it that I ended up making the transition from from mobility impaired running to push rim, and did that for about 3 years, and then the last 2 years have been mobility impaired running.
Running is more than just a competition. It's about finding connection with his mother, who passed away.
There were a few stories she used to tell me about when she was going through high school, about her track experiences, and that was the first sport that I thought of whenever I wanted to stay close to her memory.
Stelly says the biggest challenge isn't on the track.
Biggest challenge is actually just getting out the door. It's not gonna happen overnight.
That was Spencer Plato reporting, and those were your headlines from Southeast Texas.